Hi.
Hey, Reddit. I never thought I'd be posting something like this. I've read those stories. Guy gives everything. Girl walks all over him. Always thought, that'd never be me. Well, here I am. I'm 34. Been married to Emily for 6 years. Dated her for 3 before that. When I met her, she was working part-time at a boutique and go to community college. I was already working full-time as a mechanical tech, saving up for a house, grinding like most dudes do in their 20s. Emily had this quiet charm about her. She was soft-spoken, polite, always smiling. She'd compliment me on the little stuff. You're so thoughtful. You always make me feel safe. That kind of thing. It wasn't loud or flashy, but man, it felt good. After years of getting ghosted or used for rides and dinners, she felt like peace. And I'll admit, I went all in. Dates? Always paid. Holidays? Big gifts. I'd leave notes in her lunchbox. Surprise her with flowers just because. When she got sick, I'd drive across town just to drop off her favorite soup. My dad always told me, if you love her, you show her. No excuses. And I guess I took that to heart. She moved in with me after a year. I didn't ask for rent. She was in school, and I figured, I've got this. We're a team. I didn't mind covering everything, from utilities to groceries to her gas. She said she'd pay me back someday. I didn't care. I wasn't keeping score. I honestly thought we were good. She called me her rock in front of friends. Said she felt lucky to have me. I held on to that stuff. Meant the world to hear it. But looking back, I think she knew exactly what to say to, so yeah, we got married. Simple ceremony. Backyard, fairy lights, a few friends and family. She cried during the vows. Said I made her feel seen, protected. That was one of the happiest days of my life. I looked at her and thought, I did it. I found the one. After the wedding, we used most of my savings for the honeymoon. She wanted to go to Santorini. I'd never been out of the country, but I booked it. Flights, villa, food, the whole deal. She said, you're spoiling me, and laughed like it was a compliment. I thought it was, but when we got back, something was off. It wasn't anything big. Not right away. It started small. She stopped saying thank you. Didn't laugh at my corny jokes like she used to. Started spending more time on her phone during dinner. Always texting her girls. Said she needed that time to unwind. I didn't think much of it. We all changed a little after the wedding, right? Stress, jobs, adjusting to living as husband and wife. But then the spending picked up. She'd come home with new outfits, designer stuff I knew we couldn't afford. She'd say things like, well, you're the provider, or it's your job to take care of me. Joking, but not really joking. And I tried to talk to her. Sat her down one night with a spreadsheet, showing how much debt we were creeping into. She rolled her eyes, said I was being dramatic, that I never used to care about money when we were dating. That line hit me, because no, I didn't care about money then. I cared about her, and I still did, but she was different now. She started hanging out more with these girls from her job. They were flashy, shallow, always posting wine night, selfies with captions like #QueensOnly. I didn't mind her going out. I just started noticing she came back colder. Less affection, less interest in me, unless she wanted something. One night, I asked her if we could start trying for a baby like we talked about before. She laughed. You can barely keep up with me now. A kid would finish you off. Said it right to my face while putting on some face mask when her friends told her about. I laughed it off at the time, but it stung. It really did. I still didn't see it clearly. Just thought we were going through a rough patch. Every couple does, right? But I was wrong. So wrong. And things were about to get worse. Let me know when you're ready for part 3. That's when I start catching the signs I should have caught sooner. Stuff that makes your stomach turn when you look back. All right, here's where it gets harder to talk about. It started with the phone. She used to leave it lying around. Didn't even have a lock on it when we were dating. But after the wedding, that changed. Face ID, fingerprint locked, the whole 9. She'd keep it on her all the time, even when going to the bathroom or showering. I asked about it once, and she laughed like I was being paranoid, said her friends shared private stuff, and she didn't want me to accidentally see something. Okay, fair enough, I thought. But then, she started going out without telling me. She'd say she was meeting the girls for dinner, but come home way later than expected. Makeup smudged, reeking of alcohol and something expensive. I'd ask how her night was, and she'd brush me off. Why do you care so much? I'm not your property. That one cut deep. Because I never treated her like that. I just cared. Is that a crime? One night, she came home at 2 a.m. I was waiting up. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just asked where she'd been. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Out? Don't be so clingy. It's pathetic." That was the first time she called me pathetic. Not the last. I should have left then. Should have stood up and said, "You don't get to talk to me like that." But I didn't. I just sat there, quiet, because I loved her. I kept telling myself, maybe she was just going through something. Maybe I wasn't doing enough. Maybe I needed to step up more. I started cooking more, doing more around the house, planning little surprises. Once, I left work early to set up a romantic dinner for her birthday. Candles, her favorite meal, soft music. She came home, looked at it, and said, "You should have just taken me to that steakhouse Jenna posted about." She sat down, picked at her food, scrolled on her phone, and said nothing the rest of the night. Later, I heard her laughing in the other room, FaceTiming someone. I walked in, and she immediately turned the phone away, lowered her voice, said it was her cousin. She doesn't have a cousin named Ryan. But again, I said nothing, because I was already deep in it, hooked on the version of her I fell in love with, not the one I was living with now. The guy he was fading, becoming smaller, just trying to avoid setting her off, trying to hold together something that was already cracked all the way through. I didn't know it yet, but the real betrayal, that was right around the corner. IT was a random Thursday. I'd been working extra hours all week, trying to surprise Emily with a weekend trip. Thought maybe it'd bring us closer again. Got off early, picked up her favorite takeout, came home quiet and smiling like an idiot. Then I heard voices out back, Emily and her friends on the patio, laughing, drinking wine. I didn't even know she had people over. The second I stepped out, everything went quiet. No one looked me in the eye. Emily just shrugged, said, "You were working late." Didn't want to argue. I dropped the food off and went to the bedroom. She came in late that night, tipsy, didn't say a word. I didn't push it. Next morning, I get a voice message, unknown number. It was Rachel, one of her friends. Probably didn't mean to send it, but I hit play, and there it was. Emily's voice, loud and clear. "He's my personal doormat." I wiped my feet on him, and he still thanks me. Then came the laughter. Rachel, the others, all cracking up. I couldn't move. I just stood there, hard in my throat. That's all it took. I went home, packed a bag, and walked out. She'd been calling nonstop. Says it was a joke. Says I misunderstood. But nah, that wasn't a joke. That was who she really was when she thought I'd never hear it. Right after I left, the calls didn't stop. First it was, "Please call me." Then, "You're overreacting." Then the guilt trip stuff. "You said you'd never give up on me." I didn't answer. A couple days later, Rachel texted me, said she was sorry, that she felt sick after hearing what Emily said, and wanted me to know she didn't laugh. She just froze. I thanked her, but I didn't ask for details. I'd heard enough. Then Emily showed up at my sister's place. Yeah, I'd been staying there. She stood outside crying, begging to talk. My sister told her to leave. She came back the next day, left flowers on the porch with a note. It was just a dumb joke. I didn't mean it. "I love you." Nah. Then came the real twist. I got a DM from this guy named Jason. Said he knew Emily from her gym. Claimed they'd talked a few times, flirty texts, late-night messages. He didn't want to stir things up, but thought I should know. Sent screenshots. I didn't want to believe it, but there it was, her name, her words, emojis, pet names. Her telling him, "It's complicated at home. You're the only one who really sees me. That was 2 weeks before the Doormat comment. When I confronted her, just one message. Who's Jason? She freaked, called 20 times in 1 hour, then texted saying, it wasn't like that. He was just a friend. I never met him alone. I only flirted a little when I felt unloved by you. She made my fault. That's when it hit me. It wasn't about the joke, or Jason, or the lies. It was the pattern. Every time I gave more, she took more. And when I had nothing left, she blamed me for not giving enough .so after the Jason thing. I went full no contact. Blocked her everywhere. I wasn't angry. I was done. I figured she'd move on. Maybe badmouth me to her friends. Whatever. Let her deal with it. A week later, I got a call from my boss. He sounded awkward. Said someone emailed HR claiming I was emotionally abusive in my marriage and had anger issues that made me unfit to supervise junior staff. The email was anonymous, but I knew. There's only one person in this world who knew about a small argument I once had at work where I raised my voice, and it was Emily. I had told her in confidence, back when I still thought we shared stuff like that. The HR guy said they had to follow up, but it felt like they didn't take it too seriously. Still, I was shaken, not because I was in trouble, but because she went there. I texted her once, you trying to ruin my life now? She replied, I didn't send anything. Maybe Jason did. Maybe you should think about how you treated people. That was it for me. Any trace of the girl I loved was gone. She couldn't get to me emotionally anymore, so she went for my job. That was her move. Couple days later, she messaged my sister, told her I was spiraling and she was worried about me, tried to paint herself as a concerned ex-wife. My sister ripped into her and told her to leave us all alone. Emily blocked her right after. About 2 weeks after the HR stunt, I was finally getting back on my feet, moved into a buddy's guest house, started running again, hitting the gym, trying to feel like me again. Then I got a message. It was from Lena, one of Emily's closest friends, the same circle that used to sit around laughing while she mocked me. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity got the best of me. She wrote, Hey, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from, but I've been feeling guilty. There's stuff you deserve to know. I waited a bit before replying, but eventually I said, What stuff? She didn't sugarcoat it. Apparently, the Doormat comment wasn't a one-time thing. Emily had been trashing me behind my back for months, joking about how she had me trained, saying I'd buy her anything if she pouted long enough, telling people I was weak, too soft, a pushover. Worse, Jason wasn't just a flirt. Lena swore they hooked up at least once, said she wasn't there, but Emily admitted it to the group on a drunk night out, said it didn't count because we were barely even talking at the time. That was news to me. We were still living under the same roof when it happened. Lena said she felt sick about it, said she stayed quiet out of loyalty, but after everything blew up, she started seeing Emily differently, especially when Emily joked that I'd come crawling back eventually. That line broke me more than the cheating, not because it hurt, but because for a second I believed she actually believed it, that I'd still return to the person who stepped on me while I loved her the hardest. Nah, I thanked Lena. I didn't even ask for proof. I didn't need it. Everything finally made sense. So about a week after Lena dropped the truth bomb, things went quiet. No texts, no calls, no weird anonymous emails. I thought maybe Emily finally got the message. I was wrong. She showed up at my buddy's place. I was in the garage, working on his bike, when I heard the knock. Turned around, and there she was, dressed down, no makeup, holding a photo album. Our photo album. Can we talk? She asked, voice all soft like nothing had happened. Like she didn't nuke my life. I didn't say anything. Just leaned against the tool bench, arms crossed. She walked in like she still belonged there. I miss you, she said. I know I messed up, but I was scared. I didn't know how to handle things. I felt unseen. Unseen. That's what she said to a guy who bent over backwards to make her happy for nearly a decade, who worked double shifts to give her the life she wanted. I asked her one thing. Did you sleep with Jason? She didn't answer right away. Then she nodded. Once. It didn't mean anything. I let out a small laugh, more like a dry breath. Did mocking me in front of your friends mean anything? She didn't respond. Then she flipped it. Just like that. I only said that stuff because I was frustrated. You were so passive, so distant near the end. I needed attention. I needed to feel alive. That's when it clicked. She wasn't sorry. Not really. She was just uncomfortable being alone, losing control. The image of herself as this adored, catered-to wife had cracked, and she wanted it back. I told her she should go. She asked if I still loved her. I said, I loved who I thought you were. She stood there for a second like she was expecting me to fold, but I didn't. So she turned around and left. Didn't even take the photo album. After she left that day, standing there with that photo album like it meant something, I just sat in the garage for a while. Quiet, not even mad. More like relieved. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't carrying the weight of her feelings. I wasn't thinking about how to fix things or win her back. I was thinking about me. That night, I booked a solo weekend trip to the mountains. No big announcement. Just packed up and went. No one knew where I was going, except my buddy. No phone calls. No drama. Just quiet. I hiked, slept in a cheap cabin, sat by a fire with a beer, and didn't answer to anyone. And man, I didn't realize how loud it had been in my head until everything went still. When I came back, I blocked her number for good, deleted the old texts, the voicemails, even the picture of us I still had saved in a folder I hadn't opened in months. I started hitting the gym again, took a few side gigs to stack cash, signed up for that online certification I'd been putting off for years because I was always too busy or she needed me to help with something. One day, I passed by a store window and saw my reflection, and I didn't look sad anymore. That version of me. The guy who gave and gave until there was nothing left. He's gone. It had been about 2 months. No contact. No slipping up. I was moving on. Then, out of nowhere, I got an email. No subject line. Just, I saw your photo on Jenna's story. You look happy. I'm glad. I just want to say I'm sorry again for all of it. I don't expect anything. I just hope someday you'll remember the good times, too. I stared at it for a long time. And you know what? I didn't feel anger, or heartbreak, or anything, really. Just tired. I didn't reply. I didn't need to, because she got it wrong. I don't look back on the good times anymore. Not because they weren't real. Maybe they were. But they were built on me giving everything while she gave the bare minimum. Love's not supposed to make you feel small. It's not supposed to leave you doubting your worth just because someone else can't recognize it. She turned me into a doormat, but I let her. That ends with me. I'm not healed completely. Still have days where it hits me out of nowhere, but I'm getting there. And if you're reading this, stuck in something that feels one-sided, where you're begging to be seen, just know, leaving doesn't make you weak. Sometimes, walking away is the bravest damn thing you can do. Thanks for listening, Reddit. I just needed to get it all out.
Bye.